Welcome back to Films by Color, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Physical Media, where we talk about every new release coming out on Blu-ray and 4K this week, tomorrow, Tuesday, March the 5th. I can't believe we're in March already. We have got a ton of... we've already done 8 of these streams. We're already in March. Just as a reminder, sorry, I'm a little bit miscombobulated because the sound issue there. But yeah, we shoot this show live right here on YouTube every Monday night at 9 p.m. So thank you guys so much who join us in the live chat, and feel free to come join us because we love having some good conversation about movies. We do a lot of Q&A back and forth as we go through all of the new releases, and it's a really good time. But if you can't tune in live, thank you guys so much, all of you who tune in after the fact, because I appreciate those conversations as well. So make sure you leave some comments in the comment section about the new releases. Let me know what your thoughts are. I've been really enjoying getting to know you guys in the comments, especially those of you who leave comments on all of my videos. There's some guys that leave comments on every single video, and I feel like I'm getting very familiar with them and getting to know them pretty well. I can put not names with faces, because some of them don't have their faces on there, but I can put names with taste in movies, and we've been having some ongoing conversations there in the comments. So speaking of the subscribers, let's go ahead and jump over and talk to who's here. We've already got a lot of people filing in. Again, thank you for catching that audio issue. Turned off the wrong layer. That's all it takes. You turn off the wrong layer, and instead of your intro going away, your sound goes away, and everything goes right down the drain. And here we go. We've got an internet user is here. Sean Fox is here. He says, hey, DJ and crew, it's my birthday. So keen to see which release I can spend my cash on. Hey, well, we're going to get right to those releases here. Happy birthday. Let me be the first to say it tonight. I hope you have a good week, and I hope you find some great releases. I'll go ahead and mention, I am using my lav mic tonight. I'm trying it out for the first time on the live streams. I've used it in the last couple of videos. It was a Christmas gift from Grace to use on the YouTube channel, so thanks so much for that, Grace. I like it a lot, but it does require me to boost the gain quite a bit because it's a little on the quiet side. So let me know if there's any like echo or reverb or any problems. Sometimes it causes a little problems in the edits. So hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it's not too bad, and it's much nicer to not have the big giant Yeti mic in my face the whole time, and I can see both sides, and I don't have to hold my face like this and talk into the mic. So it's nice, a little more freedom, but let me know how it sounds in the chat, as long as it's on. That's the main thing. Anime Fan is here. Sam Fed is here. Evil Wax is here. Kevin House is here. Henry Bidenkamp is here. Jar Jar Ed is here. Luke is here. He says, hi, DJ. I enjoyed your Disney video. It felt unexpectedly wholesome. Thanks so much, and thanks for the positive response. I just posted that earlier today. I wanted to get it up over the weekend, but got a little busy, but finally got it up this morning, and it was a really fun time. Very great video. Had a great time shooting that with Grace. I already shot another video with Grace about our favorite films of last year, and I'm knee-deep editing that right now, so I hope to get that up to you in the next couple days, and we can talk about all of our favorite movies from last year. Let's see, Michael Smith is here. Ethan Edwards is here. Lots of people here. Let me try to catch up here. People joking about me being a mime or it being a silent film week. Yeah, so I think we're doing good. I think we're all set. Everything's good. Next up, let's jump into the new releases. We'll go ahead and get started on these, and then I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. All right, so first up, and this is very cool, this is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It's getting a 4K upgrade. There already was a 4K release of this from Paramount Presents, which is a really cool line that Paramount puts out. It's kind of like their own little in-house boutique label, kind of very similar to Warner Archive, which Warner Brothers has. And I wanted to get the the previous release, the Presents release of The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, but you know me, I always try to get the coolest and best version of each movie, and I found a really cool World Cinema Library release that I really want to hold out for and try to get because it's a really nice release. It is also a 4K release. It's just got really nice deluxe packaging and some cool extras and some cool features. So I'm trying to hold out for that one. I haven't seen it go under $100 though, so I've held off for now. But maybe, if I can't ever find a good deal on that one, I'll just have to go ahead and pick this one up because I think the Presents one might already be out of print. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But this is just a standard one from Paramount. It's got a very generic looking, well, I guess not generic looking. The case is generic and the banner is generic, but the poster I think is just the original poster, which is cool because they don't think the Presents one had the original poster. It's got a nice slip. It's got a black spine, of course, because it's a 4K, and 4K uses black spines all the time. And then there's the 4K banner at the top. 4K Blu-ray and digital on this. If you haven't seen The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, please do yourself a favor and go see it. It is a wonderful Western. It's not a very traditional Western in the, the sense of a classic Western. It's like right on the brink of the revisionist Western, like where we're getting away from it. It's 1962. It stars one of my favorite actors of all time in James Stewart and John Wayne. I didn't grow up with John Wayne. I wasn't a huge, my dad liked John Wayne, but I was one of those kids who like didn't want to like anything my dad liked. So I didn't like his favorite superhero, Batman. I didn't watch any of the Bruce Lee movies that he was into. I didn't like the Rocky movies. But now, of course, as I've grown up, I go back and I like all that stuff. And John Wayne is amazing in this. He's also incredible in The Quiet Man, which I'm going to be watching with Grace here in the next couple days because we watch that, we're going to start watching that every year on St. Patrick's Day because it's such a good movie. So John Wayne's great. James Stewart's great. They're both amazing in this. You got Jimmy Stewart doing the same thing he did in Destiny Rides Again, where he's like not exactly the same thing. Here he's like a lawman. He's a teacher. He doesn't believe in any violence. He's like a pacifist. And John Wayne doesn't believe him. They're kind of two opposite sides of the coin. And they're both trying to catch this man, Liberty Valance, who is just an absolute despicable, horrible human being. And just the way they go about it is just a wonderful dichotomy that I really, really enjoyed watching and thinking about for days afterwards. So I highly recommend The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Please check it out if you haven't. And if you have checked it out, let me know what your thoughts are. This looks like a pretty standard release, just a 4K and Blu-ray and digital. So you cover all the bases, but just a standard release. There, right down there, you can see, I'll switch over to the other one. There is the Presents one that I was just talking about. So that's what the artwork looks like on that. That artwork is pretty terrible. I don't know why they tried to make it look like it was a modern film. So I much prefer the original poster on this new release. So if you prefer that, go out and pick it up. Sorry, I had a lot to say about that one. We can get back to the other releases here. Next up, we've got a Shout Select release. Shout Select, still going strong. They're getting up there. This is spine number 156, so already in the mid-hundreds right here. This is called Over the Edge, not to be confused with Over the Hedge, the amazing animated film starring Steve Carell as a squirrel. This is Over the Edge from 1979, a 95-minute coming-of-age music story. Wow, sounds very interesting. I have not seen this one yet, but Shout Select puts out nice releases. Not showing a slipcover on this one. I don't know. They usually do slipcovers, but maybe they didn't for this. Maybe this is a lower budget release. I'm not sure. Maybe Blu-ray.com just doesn't have the image yet. So it could have a slipcover. I don't know for sure. But yeah, that one's coming out this week. Then we've also got Brawl in Cell Block 99, which we already talked about last week. I guess that one got pushed to this week. I'm not sure why that one's here. Must have been a little delay on that one. And then, very excited about this next one, but let me go ahead and talk to you guys over in the chat because I'm getting behind on the chat. We've got a lot of people here tonight and everything is flowing and I'm already getting behind. Let's see. And now this is here and says, I know I already commented on the video, but truly enjoyed it this morning. Thank you so much. Again, I really appreciate the love on that video. It was a lot of fun to shoot. And really happy that we got those releases before they all went out of print. We're still on the fence about maybe doing another order. I don't know. That depends on how well our taxes come out this year, if we have any leftover money to pick up another order. Evil Wax says, picked up some great titles at the Criterion Flash sale that arrived today. The Fisher King 4K, Mulholland Drive 4K, Double Indemnity 4K, Raging Bull 4K, and Night of the Hunter. Those are some solid picks, dude. Very happy that you have those in the collection now. I've been really enjoying all the videos about the Criterion Flash sale. There's been a lot of them, and it's really fun listening to those. I, however, unfortunately missed the Flash sale. I had my cart all ready to go, and I was really excited about what I was going to pick up, and then I got caught up with other things. I got caught up with actually editing videos. I think it was the complete collection video that I put up last week. Also, really thank you guys for all of the kind words on that video. That video's doing really well, and people seem to be enjoying it, where I went through my entire collection. And man, I got so busy with that I completely forgot to order, and then I opened up Criterion.com the next day at lunch, and it had already ended, and I was so upset, and I missed my chance to get what I wanted. So unfortunately, I won't be doing a flash sale video because I missed it. Super sad about that. What else are people talking about here? Other people talking about their flash sale orders. Anime Fan says, I watched your Disney Club video today and really liked it. I'm glad that you were able to get films that you and Grace really liked. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Beetlejuice, I'll pay you $10 a movie to get some DMC titles. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how you would get that to me, but yeah, I don't know if I could even make that happen. I don't know how to accept money from people, and I don't know, because there's shipping and all that stuff. That would be a huge hassle. Don't know if I can do that for you. Plus, most of them are out of print now, which is super unfortunate. Michael Smith says, my dad is a huge Trekkie, and I don't care about Star Trek at all. So yeah, so same deal there. Kyle Hartman, hey man, good evening. Nothing this week that I like. The Steelbooks from Walmart USA. But in Canada, Toronto, no exclusive Steelbooks. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a bummer when you live in different countries and they don't get the same treatment. Jar Jar Ed says, I avoid John Wayne movies because I read up about him and what a not so good person he is. Oh, that's unfortunate. I try to stay far away from people's personal lives as I can for that specific reason. Ethan Edwards says, excited that Ford's The Three Godfathers is finally getting a Blu-ray as is They Drive by Night, which I have always loved. I didn't know that, and that's incredible. Three Godfathers, I've seen bits and pieces of when it was playing on TCM, but I've never got to see the whole film, and I really wanted to check that out. It's based on the same story, or same novel that Tokyo Godfathers is based on, which is a Christmas movie that I talked about in my Christmas video. That's awesome. I'm going to have to pick that up. Really excited about that. And now this says, I've only seen one John Wayne movie, The Shootist, but I would give that movie a try because I love Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, it's great. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. All right, people, blah, 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 blah. I think I'm all caught up. Let's jump back to the movies. All right, here we go. What do we got next? This is the one I'm very excited about. So, Moon Garden, I've actually talked about on this channel before. If it will open, there it is. There's the front cover. Look at this. Look at this gothic horror fantasy aesthetic. Looks really cool. I actually watched the trailer for this a few months ago now when I talked about it. So I started collecting Oscilloscope Laboratories releases. They do really lovely digipack releases of, I won't go grab them right now, but I've talked about them before. Check out the video where I talked about them. I started collecting that line. They do really nice digipack releases, limited editions of the mostly modern movies, like movies that have just come out in this decade or last couple decades. They do newer stuff, and it's nice to have a boutique label that specifically focuses on that kind of stuff. And this is a 2022 horror, like pseudo horror fantasy movie. It doesn't look too like nasty and gory and stuff. It looks more like a Guillermo del Toro movie, at least from the wonderful trailer they cut for this film. It got me super excited. It looks like a coming of age story about childhood and like just a fantasy horror thing, which sounds really appealing to me. I'm very excited to check it out. I gotta go ahead and pick this one up from the website before the limited edition goes out of print. I don't know what the running charge is for that. It looks like I can buy it right here on Amazon, according to Blu-ray.com. It's only $26.82, which is amazing. I didn't know you could buy those from Amazon. I thought I had to get them from the site themselves. It says a comatose 5-year-old girl journeys through an industrial wonderland to find her way back to consciousness. So like a Alice in Wonderland story with a beautiful gothic horror aesthetic. Sounds right up my alley. I'm very excited to check that one out. And if you check it out, check out the other movies on their site because they have a really nice selection. And very glad that one of my subscribers actually turned me on to those releases. Patrick Craig really got me into those. I think I already had one of them, and then I was looking more into it, and then he really gave me like a rundown of some really nice releases to pick up. So thanks so much for that, Patrick. The next one here is The Long Riders, a 1980 film. This is being put out by Kino Lorber, always putting out stuff. If there's a week that goes by that anything's coming out, Kino Lorber will be on the list. We talk about them pretty much every week. They've got to be the most expansive boutique Blu-ray label that I can think of. I know Criterion tries to put out stuff every week, but it's usually just like one release. Kino Lorber's got at least 3 like every week. It's crazy. So this is another Western movie. It also says history under the genre, so maybe this is based on a true story. I'm not familiar with this one, but it's got a stacked looking cast here. Look at all these names they threw up here at the top. But there you go. You've got all, what is that, 7, 8 guys on horses? and all of their names are at the top. It's a Walter Hill film, and it's got a nice little slipcover. I like that Kino Lorber is going with slipcovers more often. I know for a time, they usually do them all for the 4Ks, but it looks like the Blu-rays are getting slipcovers now as well. I know some people don't care about that. I like slipcovers. I think they're nice. I think they look good on the shelf, and I'm not going to complain. Obviously, it's not a deal breaker, but I'll call it out when I see it. So The Long Riders is getting a release. If you're familiar with that film, let me know in the chat. And then we'll do one more here before I talk to you guys. Real quick, Heroes is getting a complete collection Blu-ray release. We don't usually talk about TV on this show. We usually just focus on the movies. But if you're a Heroes fan, that is coming out as well. And then the Saw 10 film collection, a film series that I have not seen a single entry of, is getting a Lionsgate box set. Now, I'm not sure if this is a Lionsgate Steelbook box set or not, or if it's just... It doesn't look like it. It looks... Maybe it is. I can't tell. But it's a box set. It's a big, fat box set for the 20th anniversary of the Saw franchise. And yeah, there you go. You got some nice gruesome photos. So if you're into that series, maybe check out that box set. Is that 10 films? Yeah, all 10 Saw films in one box set for only $72. So cheaper than $10 a film. So if that's your franchise, that's a really good deal. Not my franchise, so I can't recommend it or tell you anything about it. I'm not the guy for that. Not a huge horror guy, but it looks pretty good. It looks like a good deal anyway, financially. And then we've got Archangel getting a Blu-ray. It says from Zeitgeist Films, but this must be a division of Kino Lorber because it also has the Kino Lorber logo here at the bottom. And I clicked on the Zeitgeist Films link, and it takes me to another page with about 29 releases, so a smaller section of the Kino Lorber library. But this says A Tragedy of the Great War, and it's a 4K transfer from the original negative, which looks awesome. I don't know when this film is from, because it looks like it's from the 10s. Like it looks like a very, very old silent film, but it says 1990 right here at the top. So I don't know. I'll go ahead and read the description on this one. A Canadian World War I soldier is in the town of Archangel in northern Russia to help fight off Bolshevik soldiers. There he falls in love with a woman who looks like his dead lover. So yeah, it says 1990 here as well. I guess this is made to look like an old silent film, and it's just made in the 1990s? I don't know. You guys are going to have to let me know on this one. Either way, it sounds interesting. If it actually is a silent film from that time period, or if it's made to look like that, I'm interested either way. I love that aesthetic. I am falling more and more in love with the silent era, and I love homages to that time period as well. So I don't know. I don't know which one this is, but Archangel is getting a Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber, and I'm sure you can get it on their site, even though it is from that kind of sub-label, Zeitgeist Films. All right, what do we got here? MO says, I picked up Trainspotting. Yeah, feel free to put in all of your flash sale hauls. I like hearing those. MO picked up Trainspotting, Pinocchio, and Mean Streets in 4K from the C flash sale. Very happy for you, sir. Those are great releases. I have the Pinocchio one and the Mean Streets one. I don't have Trainspotting yet. Dell on Movies, I missed the flash sale too. Sorry, man. I know how it feels. And then he says, and the internet user says there's always July. Yeah, there's always July. I'll go ahead and say I was going to pick up the Pasolini box set. I was very excited about it. I've been saving up for it, and I completely missed it. And I'm bummed because I wanted to do kind of a Passover week viewing experience this year. I wanted to spend all week watching different versions. So I wanted to get the Pasolini box set and watch his short film. What is the short film that he did with... Oh, what is it called? It's going to drive me crazy now. But there's a short film that he did that I've already watched, but I was going to rewatch that. That's about a passion play that has Orson Welles in it, of all people. And it's great. It's really, really good. I was going to rewatch that, and then I was going to watch his Gospel According to Matthew video. Like he's a YouTuber. I was going to watch his Gospel According to Matthew film. I was going to rewatch that, and then I was going to go right into Last Temptation of Christ. So I also had that in my cart, and I missed both of them. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do my Passover week. Maybe I'll just use Criterion Channel or rent them or something. But yeah, that was a huge bummer that I missed out on that. But I guess I can pick them up in July. Ethan Edwards, I watched the Disney video. Am I getting old, or did your wife used to be blonde? She has like blonde, she has a lot of colors in her hair. It's like, can't believe I'm talking about this, but he asked. She has blonde and brown and a tiny little bit of like strawberry blonde red in her hair. I think you might be remembering when she dyed it a little bit more on the blonde side a year ago or a couple years ago, and now she's just kind of let it go back to its normal color because dyeing it is expensive, and we don't have the money for that anymore. Kevin House, my dad was a lumberyard manager, and I don't care about lumber at all. Well, good. That's the way to stick it to him, Kevin. Who cares about the family business? Jar Jar Ed, in a week, depending on which time zone you're in, the 4K Blu-rays for James Cameron classics come out. I believe The Abyss and True Lies never had a proper Blu-ray release before this. I know a lot of people are excited about that, and we will be talking about those next week on the show, but don't get ahead of us, Jar Jar Ed. We've got to talk about this week's releases. Let's see. Jar Jar Ed also says Kino Lorber's 4K Blu-rays usually come from the remasters Criterion did. For a long time, Criterion only released 4K transfers in HD, and after movie rights lapsed, Kino Lorber hopped on them. Interesting, interesting. So they're kind of like one of those like bug, or one of those animals that like rides on the back of another sea creature and like eats bugs off of them. I don't know. Kino Lorber. An internet user, I enjoyed The Long Riders. It is a good knife fight. It has a good knife fight. Interesting, interesting. Bailey Walsh says, Heroes used to be my favorite show. Oh, I missed it when it was on, but I know a lot of people that were really excited about it. One of my close friends loved the first season and then thought it went downhill. I haven't seen it though, so I can't speak on it. Oh my goodness, so many comments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live here. I'm gonna see if I can keep up with them. Lindsay Teague, I don't recognize this name. Welcome to the stream. If you're new here, saw your Disney Movie Club haul video, and I have so many of the same 90s childhood favorites as you and Grace, especially Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Cool Runnings. Yeah, man, that was a whole nostalgia-fueled video, which I don't think we've ever really done on this channel. Maybe my Christmas video was the closest one to it, but yeah, most of those Disney releases were 100% just from our childhood, and I haven't seen them in maybe 2 decades, so I don't know if they'll hold up at all. I don't know if I'll still enjoy them, but I just wanted to have them in the collection. They're only $10, so what are you gonna do? Michael Smith, for his flash sale, I got Heroic Trio, Pinocchio, and Trainspotting. So some very new releases Michael is talking about. And a couple other people here. Hey, Rose Celavy, I got Pinocchio, Lone Star, Miller's Crossing, and Thief from the flash sale. Dan Stan just got back from Dune Part 2. Great big screen experience. I also saw Dune Part 2. We watched it this weekend, and it was lovely. It was great. Really, really enjoyed it. Just as good as Part 1. Had a great time. Great time. And I don't know. I don't have too much to say about it. It's great. I don't want to say anything. I just want you guys to experience it. One more question here, and then we'll jump back. Kevin House, DJ, watching your Disney video made me wonder if you've ever seen The Absent-Minded Professor with Fred McMurray. I think your kids would like it too. Am I totally off base here, or is that what Flubber is based off of? I believe The Absent-Minded Professor is the original Disney film, and then Robin Williams kind of remade it, or based on, with Flubber in the 90s, which I did not grow up with and don't think is very good, but I have heard The Absent-Minded Professor is good, the original, so I should have to check that out. I wish I could, like I said, I wish I had more money and I can just buy a bunch of those Disney Movie Club exclusives, because we only have a couple months left, but I don't know how many I'll be able to pick up, because they add up real quick. All right, let's jump back over here. My computer is not cooperating with me, so I have to click on that. Here we go. Mayhem is getting a 4K Steelbook. Here we go. This is so Walmart exclusive. This is not one of them, but we will talk about in a second. The Lionsgate. Why is there a shoe ad right in the middle of my screen? Come on, Blu-ray.com. Lionsgate, those Steelbooks are coming back, and they are going to Walmart's like a lot of people predicted, but this is still an RLJ Entertainment Steelbook that's going to Walmart as well. We've been talking about these for the last couple weeks, and this is a film I have no idea what it is. It's called Mayhem, an action film from 2017. Looks kind of like I don't even know what's going on. It's just like another Die Hard looking action film. Actually, no, it looks like it's a horror film. So horror thriller comedy film, more so than an action film. But yeah, I have not heard of this, but it has a 4K and Blu-ray combo pack, only 88 minutes. So if you like that kind of thing, it could be fun. And it's got a nice steelbook packaging from RLJ Entertainment. This one here is a very surprising release from Universal Studios. This movie came out in 2022, and I think it bombed. I don't think it did very well. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't heard anything about it, and it is getting a 4K upgrade. 4K Blu-ray and digital, and I believe this didn't get a 4K when it came out, so this is the first time it's on 4K. Stars Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, Lupita Nyong'o, and Binbring Fan. Wow, a really, really great cast, at least. I don't know anything about the film. It is, I'll read the description here. When a top secret weapon fails falls into mercenary hands, a wildcard CIA agent joins forces with 3 international agents on a lethal mission to retrieve it while staying a step ahead of a mysterious woman who's tracking their every move. So, a little action thriller espionage type film starring a bunch of really great female actors, which I have not seen. And speaking of things that I have not seen, Kickboxer, a classic late 80s movie starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, is our first Lionsgate Films Steelbook of the evening. So this is Steelbook exclusive to Walmart, because Walmart is the only place that gets exclusives right now. That's the state physical media is in. We have to go to Walmart to get this pretty lovely looking steelbook of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer. Look at that, very colorful. If you're a purist who only likes to use the original posters, you will not like the artwork. But if you like the artwork, if you like kind of this kind of pop revisionist style artwork, then it looks pretty cool. And it also has a slip. So it's one of those Lionsgate steelbooks that has a clear slipcover over it, which I love. I think they look pretty cool and make the slipcovers look a little bit better. And yeah, there you go. You got to go to Walmart to pick that up. I know the 80s action martial arts fans in the audience will be very excited about that. But yeah, it looks like someone has already picked it up and shown some photos of it down here on the website. So check out Blu-ray.com. This review has some really cool photos of it. It looks great. I love the bright orange color. I don't know what the original poster looks like, so maybe that would have been a better choice. But for what it is, I think it looks pretty cool. 1989. With Jean-Claude Van Damme. And let's talk about one more here before I jump back. This is The Lion in Winter, which is, I don't exactly know what's going on here. I don't know if this is I assume it's just a re-release, because it is a Blu-ray, and I already have the Kino Lorber release of this, and it's great. This is one of the best movies that I've got from Kino Lorber. This is an incredible movie. It is a Christmas film. I will absolutely be watching this, if not every Christmas, as many Christmases, or as often as I can on Christmas, because it's a wonderful medieval times, like family drama with some really good black comedy in it, and it's got an incredible performance by Peter O'Toole and an even better performance by Katharine Hepburn in her later years. She's incredible in this film. But this is how it came to me, and I didn't know there was a slipcover for this, and it looks like this version that we're getting here does have the slipcover. So there's either two options here. Either it did have a slipcover originally, and I just got a copy that didn't have it. Maybe it was only in the first printing, and then when I ordered it from Kino Lorber, they didn't have any more left, or only this new reissue is coming with a slipcover. Either way, I'm bummed that I missed out on it. I wish I would have known about that and waited, or either grabbed it. But I'm happy that I went ahead and got it, because we watched this 2 years ago, and it was one of the best movies I watched that year. It was incredible. Very, very happy with it, and I highly recommend that if you're into historical dramas, if you're into biographies. I think it is based on a true story. I don't know how realistic it is, but it is just such a great movie, such a great script, such good witty banter back and forth, and like a battle for the throne between families long before Game of Thrones, and it's wonderful. That's all the way back in 1968. Great movie, and I'm very happy that it's getting a re-release so more people can get it. But that's it. That is that row. Let's go ahead and jump back over here and see what people are saying. I'm gonna take a little sip of water. Sorry if the mic picks it up. All right, where did I leave off here? Kevin House, yes it is. Actually, Disney did a sequel with Fred called Son of Flubber. Okay, so Absent-Minded Professor is what Flubber is based on. That's what I thought. Jar Jar Ed, Walmart gets exclusive 4Ks. Yes, they do, sir. Where have you been? You haven't been here the last couple of weeks, because that's all we've been talking about. We live in the Twilight Zone. Eva Wax, Absent-Minded Professor is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. I know, I've heard good things about that one. You guys are making me want to pick up some more Disney films from the website. You guys are going to break my wallet. Luke, I guess I missed the flash sale, so I can use it on Disney instead. Luke SE, being born in 2005, I saw none of the films in your Disney vid, but I watch movies that you sometimes recommend. As a film student, I try and watch a lot. Do you recommend any from that video? Probably not. I don't know if any of those would be worth going back to if you didn't grow up with them. I'm trying to think. I think the original Parent Trap is a great movie, so maybe check out that one. and I think the remake is a good example of a great remake and how you do a good remake. So maybe check out those two. And I know a lot of people love Cool Runnings. Like I said in the video, I didn't grow up with that one, but yeah, I don't know if early 2000s and 90s films, I don't know if many of them you need to go back to if you didn't live through them. It's kind of a very specific era. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you guys disagree with me in any of those he should go back to. But I think you're probably good. Maybe just check out the Parent Trap films. Ethan Edwards, I ordered the Lone Star and Roaring 20s 4Ks as well as the Red Balloon set. Nothing But a Man and a Fire are... Nothing But a Man and a Fire on Blu-ray. Oh, nice. Sounds like a good pickup. I love that Red Balloon set. Let's see. Henry Bidenkamp. Why is Kino releasing Lion in Winter in Blu-ray again? Doesn't look like much new here. That's what I'm saying. I would have been really happy with a 4K release. I guess they didn't have the means to release a 4K for that one. But if it is out of print, I'm glad they're re-releasing it for people who didn't get a chance to get it, because it is a wonderful film. So I don't know the whole story on that, though. I'd love to know. Yeah, Dan's Den says the 355, I've only heard bad things. Yeah, that's kind of the same boat I'm in, but I don't want to say that because I haven't seen it myself. But yeah, that's what I've heard too. Ben Loves Movies also chimes in, says the 355 is one of the worst films I have ever seen. The cast was solid, but they were given awful dialogue, and the plot direction, and especially the editing, was some of the worst stuff I've seen. Yeah, that's what I heard. But you sound like you know more about it than I do. And you've seen it, so of course you know more about it than I do. Other people chiming in about how bad that movie was. I don't need to reiterate it, but let's see what else we've got here. Ben Loves Movies, still on 355, says the only good thing that Simon Kinberg, director of 355, has written was X-Men Days of Future Past, but even that film has its issues. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that film either, but only because I really liked First Class, and it kind of completely wiped the slate clean in the very next movie, and I was hoping we could go more in that direction. Let's see what else we got. Here we go. Anime fan, have you seen The Apple Dumpling Gang? It's a good old Disney starring Bixby. I like that you call them old Disneys. That's what you call the movies. I didn't know Bill Bixby was in it. That's incredible. I freaking love Bill Bixby. I love the Incredible Hulk show back there. But also who is in Apple Dumpling Gang, and the reason I'm aware of it and it's on my radar is it has Don Knotts in it, who is incredible. I love Don Knotts, and I wish I had seen more of Don Knotts' filmography. I've only really known him for the Andy Griffith Show, where he plays Barney Fife, but it's funny that you bring this up because I actually had Apple Dumpling Gang in my cart several times. I would throw it in, then I would take it out, throw it in, take it out. That was one movie that my dad would mention when I was growing up, but I never got a chance to see it, and I really wanted to grab it, but there was only so much money that I could spend on the haul, and it eventually got pulled out, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I might pick that one up. Bailey Walsh says, yes, The Lion in Winter is based on real historical figures. Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine? I'm not exactly sure how to say that. Aquitian? I don't know how you say that. But yeah, I knew it was based on some historical figures, but I'm not familiar with how accurate it is. But it's great. The movie's great, whether or not it's accurate or not. Beetlejuice says, get them on DMC because titles are already over $50 per title and flying up in price. I know. That's why I'm trying to get as many as I can, but I just don't know if I can afford many more. If you want to donate to Films by Color, feel free to hit the super chat button right under this video and support. No, you don't have to do that, but yeah, I would like to get more. I just don't know if it's in the budget right now. It came at the worst possible time. Why are they closing right around tax season? It's terrible. Let's see. What else are people talking about? Don Knotts movies were AMC early morning for me. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that they played those on there. I wish I had grown up with cable. Evil Wax, Don Knotts was on a sitcom from the 70s called Three's Company. I've heard of that. Haven't seen it though. Henry Bidenkamp, anybody excited for Janice getting the home distribution rights to Godzilla -1? Sounds like a must for Criterion. That's really cool, and I'm excited because that's a movie that I missed last year, and I'd be very excited if Criterion released a version of that. They haven't done a Godzilla film since they put out the big box set, and they have the original, obviously, in its own separate release, so that would be really cool to get Godzilla -1. I hope that happens because I know a lot of people loved that movie last year and would be very excited about that release. Kevin House, DJ, start with Don Knotts' The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. I also really like How to Frame a Fig. Those both sound like Dr. Seuss books. But no, I would love to check those out, and I'd love to see more of Don Knotts' early filmography. And Ethan Edwards says, just don't pay your taxes and buy movies instead. That sounds like a good plan, but I don't know if I will get away with that. They'll take my my YouTube channel away from me. No, there would be nothing to take. I mean, there's no stock in this. All right, what's coming up next? A Fistful of Dynamite is getting a Blu-ray release. This looks like a parody Western film. Is it not? Maybe it's not. It doesn't say anything about comedy on here on the genres, but it looks like it. If you look at the cover, look at this. Yeah, this has to be a comedy. Why is it not listed as a comedy? Obviously, it's playing off of A Fistful of Dollars, and it says A Fistful of Dynamite, and it says, "Duck, you sucker." And it has like this guy literally opening his jacket with a ton of dynamite inside. This has to be a comedy. Maybe not. I don't know. It's directed by Sergio Leone, and it is a film from 1971. It's maybe just an over-the-top action-adventure movie, but I thought for sure, based on that artwork, that it was a comedy. But maybe not. It doesn't look. Yeah, it looks kind of serious from the images. But that's a crazy title. Very, very cool. I like the artwork, though. That is getting a release, also from Kino Lorber. No slipcover on that one, it looks like, just a standard release. I don't know, maybe all of these Kino Lorbers this week are all re-releases? They do that sometimes. We'll go ahead and go over the third one here while we're at it. This third release from Kino Lorber does have a slipcover, and it's called Death Rides a Horse. And it has very, very nice artwork on the front here. It says, "When you've waited 15 years to find a man, it's a shame you can only kill him once." So it looks like a revenge thriller from a Western, in the Western style. It looks like it has a foreign name, so it's not an American film, which is very interesting to me. I would love to see a non-American Western film. It says here, as a child, Bill witnesses the murder of his family by 4 robbers. 15 years later, he embarks on his revenge. That actually sounds pretty cool, and I really like the artwork on that. So let me know if you guys have seen that one. I don't even know if I've seen a rated R Western from all the way back in 1967. That's fascinating. But that one looks really cool. Again, not sure if that's just a re-release from Kino Lorber. It probably is, since the other two seem to be re-releases. But who knows? Kino Lorber's always putting out great stuff. Let's do another run of these Steelbooks here. We've got Shivers, another Lionsgate Films exclusive Steelbook from only at Walmart. And there's the cover on that. Beautiful looking release. This is a David Cronenberg film, and it is his film from 1975. Obviously, you got horror, you got sci-fi. Blu-ray.com's doing great with these releases. They've got all of these screenshots included in their reviews. It looks really, really good. I don't know anything about this film. I'm not up on my Cronenberg. I've got to do some catch up there. And this is not one of the most popular ones. I haven't even heard of this one. I've heard of all the ones in the Criterion Collection, but this is another film, another horror sci-fi film, and it's getting a lovely release, but you got to go to your local Walmart to find a copy. So I hope you have a Walmart near you that carries physical media, because a lot of them have really run-down physical media sections, but hopefully, since they're getting all this new stuff that's only available there, they'll all start, bumping up their physical media sections. We have another Steelbook here for Walmart. This one's from RLJ Entertainment, and this is the VHS triple feature. So 3 horror movies from 2021, 2022, and 2023. And there's the artwork on that. Just a very generic looking white Steelbook with some text on the back, and one little image on the front. So it looks like these 3 films take place in 94, 99, and 85. But like I said, they are from the early 2020s. They just came out, brand new films, already getting a Steelbook release from the great Walmart. And then the third one here we've got is another, we're going back and forth. So we did Lionsgate, now we're back on RLJ, and now we're back to Lionsgate. This is Little Monsters from 1989, which is a film I've heard a bit about. It says, after moving to the neighborhood, Brian Arthur Stevenson and his family are looking forward to a new life in the suburbs, but it isn't long before Brian meets up with his first real best friend that, of all people, turns out to be a monster named Maurice, a monster who lives to have fun playing jokes and all the things that a kid can't do under an adult's supervision. So this is a comedy film with a little bit of a horror fantasy bend, it sounds like. There's the artwork on that one. Really, really nice artwork. I like the bright colors, the pop art style. You even got the pop art pixelation there. Stippling, excuse me. And then there you go. There's the back. This looks, I've always, in my head, I don't know if this is true because I haven't seen it, but it always gave me the same vibe as like a Monster Squad, another 80s movie about kids and monsters. They're probably very different, but this one seems more of a comedy than that one, but that one's still, still a kid's comedy. So there you go, Little Monsters, very surprising release from Walmart, getting exclusive Steelbook on that. I know the horror fans that grew up in the 80s will probably be looking forward to that one. Let's see what else is popping up over here in the chat. Jar Jar Ed, DJ does not deserve to suffer the same fate as Wesley Snipes. Don't encourage him. Thank you, Jar Jar Ed. Appreciate it. A Fistful of Dynamite, also known as Duck You Sucker, is a Western by Sergio Leone. It is a serious Western. Wow, interesting. I guess I was judging a book by its cover there with that crazy, audacious-looking cover, but I guess it's more serious than I thought. An internet user, have you heard that the 4K of Amadeus is now a thing? It looks like it will be the theatrical cut. I have been hearing people talking about Amadeus joining the Criterion Collection forever. That's like the biggest one that everyone wants in the collection. So if that's finally happening, I'm very, very excited for people who have been looking forward to that one. That's big news. Very big news in the Criterion community for sure. Let's see. On Husker Wardable. Wow. Is that how I said that? On Husker Wardable. He says it's serious and it's also very funny. Okay, I'm assuming he's talking about A Fistful of Dynamite there. So I guess it's funny because it plays it so straight. Jar Jar Ed, a 4K of Amadeus. My history teacher showed my class that film, so I have a special connection with it. I wish my history teacher had shown us cool stuff like that. The only thing we watched was National Treasure, which is hilarious because it has no actual, I guess I wouldn't say no actual history in it, but not much. But it was fun. I think it was like 7th grade we watched that. Dan's Den says Little Monsters is something all right, or something else all right. So maybe it's a crazy movie. Bailey Walsh says my younger brother loved Little Monsters growing up. So cool. I'm glad that people are picking those up. Maybe your brother can grab it. SC just popped in, says, oof, late to the party this week. No worries, man. No worries. You can always go back and rewatch at the beginning of this stream. We are almost done here. This is a lighter week, so we'll have plenty of time for Q&A and conversation as we go and after the fact. So please go ahead and put some questions in the chat if you want to talk to me or about anything that's on your mind. We're wrapping up with the last few releases here. We've got another brand new Steelbook from RLJ Entertainment for Walmart. This is another 2021 film. Lots of newer horror films that were more independent films that I am not familiar with. Prisoners of the Ghostland. So this is a horror thriller action movie, like some kind of samurai film in the horror genre. So that's getting an exclusive Steelbook from Walmart as well, with some pretty cool artwork on the front there. A film from this is a very small label that we've talked about just a couple times here, Samuel Goldwyn Films. This is a release of Blueberry on Blu-ray from 2004, which is another Western, and it says it's based on a comic book, which is interesting. I've not heard of Blueberry, but we're getting a lot of Westerns this week. Like every week, one of the fun things about doing the show is that we find out there's usually a theme, whether planned or unplanned. There's usually a theme and a lot of things that come together. And apparently this week is Westerns. There's a lot of Westerns coming out this week. And it's Westerns and it's really recent, not well-received horror films, because this is the Children of the Corn remake from 2020 is getting an RLJ exclusive Steelbook, only available at Walmart. And I don't know if anyone actually likes the Children of the Corn remake, but here it is. And you can get it on Steelbook if you really enjoyed it. There it is. I think everybody knows what Children of the Corn is. It's a horror film, and it's a remake of the original, I assume. We've got a couple other things here to talk about. The Expendables. We'll talk about the Expendables real quick. Over-the-top action R-rated movie with where I think the only real benefit of is seeing your old action star childhood heroes back in the saddle again. I don't know that these movies are very well received, but I know they have a cult following out there, and they get released. They've been released many times over the years. We just got the Steelbook at the end of last year. We got those individual Steelbooks when the 4th one came out, and here's a complete collection release. So we've got all 4 films in this kind of window box. It's got a border around it, and then there's a nice little, I don't know, it doesn't look lenticular, but it's just a nice little colorful image under there. That's just the skull with the flames in it. So pretty basic, simple release. Not the best, but if you don't have the 4 films and you want to pick them all up for just $40, $10 a film, that's a pretty good deal. There you go. If you've been waiting to jump into the Expendables series until this moment when there's 4 of them, then there you go. Get all 4 of them for $40. This is really cool, and I'm interested that this is so far down the list because I would thought this would be more popular. But maybe not, because they re-release these films all the time. This is another re-release of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Universal monster movies get re-released all the time. Ever since Blu-ray, really. They kept releasing a bunch of versions on Blu-ray. Now they're releasing a bunch of versions again on 4K. This is a Walmart exclusive Steelbook with the 4K, Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, and digital 4K. So 4 different formats on this one. It's from Universal Studios, and there is the artwork on that. Oh gosh, they put everything, that looks terrible. 4K Ultra HD plus Blu-ray plus digital code, all of that at the top. Luckily that's just on the J card, so you don't have to see that all the time, but this is a gorgeous artwork. I love the artwork on this. This is one of my favorite of the original Universal monster movies. I think Invisible Man is my number 1, and this is my number 2. I know, I'm a weirdo when it comes to which ones are my favorites. But I love those two. I love that Invisible Man's just amazing. I love everything about that one. I've talked about that before, but I don't think I've talked about this one. I just love that it's like an adventure movie. It feels like an adventure serial from the old days, and it's just really, really fun. And there's the back of it. That's just the J card. So I don't actually know what the back of the Steelbook looks like, but there's the back of the J card, a little bit of information. There's the bonus features that you get. It looks like it features a commentary, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I love that. I already have it in my Blu-ray box set back there, so I don't think I'll need to upgrade to the 4K on that one. I really like that box set that I have of everything. But yeah, that's really cool. But you got to go to Walmart. Again, it seems like I'm pro Walmart. I don't care which. I'm not on either side about Walmart. I have no opinion of Walmart. We just have to talk about it because they're coming out. And Walmart's the only place that has exclusives these days. A couple other releases here to talk about. We've got Unbranded, another late 2000s film. This is 2015. Not familiar with that one, but it is a documentary film called Unbranded. Looks like it's about cowboy life. Fits into the Western category. We can make it fit. And then What Remains, a 2022 film, another one from Gravitas Ventures, which is the same one that we just talked about before. And yeah, this is just a drama mystery thriller from 2022 about a small town pastor who is forced to reckon with an act of forgiveness when the convict he forgave for murdering his wife returns to town 5 years later while the town sheriff investigates another murder that may be related. So wow, it's like a whole soap opera thing going on there. Haven't heard of that film, don't know what that one's about. But there you go. Got another 2022 release. We're just going through all the Gravitas Ventures real quick. These are all from Gravitas Ventures. This is 20 Pearls, the story of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc. Coming out on Blu-ray. Another documentary film there. And let's see these last couple ones here. The Swearing Jar from 2022. Also getting a release from Gravitas Ventures. Revolution X is getting a release on Blu-ray. That's a 2022 film. Does anyone know any of these things I'm mentioning? Another one from Gravitas Ventures is Chasing Wonders, getting a Blu-ray release. And a couple more very, very independent films down here. This is my Achilles heel, is when I say we have to go through every single release, I have to say a bunch of things that nobody cares about or even knows about. But I'll go ahead and throw it out because I don't know what Gravitas Ventures is, but they're putting out a ton of stuff this week. Looks like they put out mostly new stuff, mostly really independent stuff. So Who Are You People is getting a Blu-ray release from Gravitas. And then the last one here is Fully Realized Humans, which looks like a very independent film, and that is a comedy. So Gravitas Ventures coming for Kino Lorber, maybe? I don't know. They're releasing a ton of stuff. I don't know if any of it is good or not, but that's all coming out from them this week. So feel free to check that out. I don't know if that's available in stores. You probably have to just stick with Amazon for those. All right, let's go ahead and jump back to the chat and see what people are saying. That's everything coming out this week. So if you're one of those people that just wants to know what's coming out, goodbye. You can feel free to hop off. No obligation to stay. But if you want to chat with us, we're going to talk here for about 30 more minutes, have a little bit of conversation. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Talk more about the Criterion Flash sale. Talk more about the whole Disney thing that's going on with the Disney Movie Club closing down, and maybe recommend some of those Disney movies. Anything you want to talk about, I'm here for 30 more minutes, so let's do it. All right, Jar Jar Ed says, National Treasure. That is a deep childhood cut. Wouldn't mind 4K Blu-rays of those movies. I'm with you, man. I still love those movies. Those have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for those movies. Both of them are really fun. We rewatched the first one last year on around like July 4th. I think we watched it on like July 3rd or something. It was fun. I love 4Ks of those as well. Maybe Sony? Sony's taking over for Disney. I doubt that's what they're going to rush to if they get any say over what, I don't think whatever Disney lets them use, I doubt it's going to be National Treasure 4K transfers. But if we had any hope of it, it would have been when they were doing the show. They just did like, I think it was like one season of a show on Disney Plus. I don't think it did very well. But yeah, that was probably our only hope of getting 4K transfers of those. But yeah, I love those movies. Those are fun Nick Cage action romps. SC says, what did you pick up, if anything, in the latest C Flash sale? If you're talking to me, I already talked about this at the beginning of the show. I know you popped in late, but I missed it. I completely missed it. Totally missed the sale. Really bummed about it. I was so upset about it. But there's always July. There's always some later times that I can pick up stuff. But yeah, some other people have been chiming in and letting people know what they picked up. So, I mean, if you're talking to them, great question. If you're talking to me, I don't have a great answer because I totally missed it. Ethan Edwards says, a lot of those RJL titles were Dollar Tree regulars. Mayhem and Riot, etc. Interesting. My Dollar Tree doesn't have any Steelbooks there. You got a cool Dollar Tree. Henry Bidenkamp, not a Nicolas Cage fan, but I loved National Treasure 1 and 2. Yeah, right? You can't hate them. They're fun. They're really fun. I grew up with them, so I don't know. I was really young when they came out and really enjoyed them. Evil Wax, no! Please, no remakes of Children of the Corn. Yeah, that's the reaction I thought I would get with that. Ethan Edwards says they could set the next Expendables movie in a nursing home. Why not? I mean, make it a solid 5. What do we call those? Trilogy, quadrilogy, quintilogy? Is that even a word? I don't know if that's a word. Jar Jar Ed, I know that the first 2 Expendables are well received. The last 2 not so much, since they shot the premise in the foot in different ways. Interesting. I wonder what you mean by that. Kevin House, The Creature from the Black Lagoon is wonderfully atmospheric. Totally agree. It's really, really cool. Love the look of that film and the feel. Love the soundtrack. The score is so good in that movie. I can't actually do it right now, but because I haven't seen it in a while. I need to watch it again this year. But the score is haunting, but also humorous after a while. And now this, I will buy The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I never bought the 4K Universal Monsters box set because I know they'll be re-releasing on Steelbook. Yeah, those are safe. Those are a safe bet that they're going to re-release. I don't think you need to pay for out-of-print versions of those because they're going to keep re-releasing those every October, probably till the end of time. Ben loves movies. I also love The Invisible Man. I recently watched it for the first time and it was amazing. Totally agree, man. Who's that? Is that Claude Rains in that movie? I think. He's incredible. I love his performance as the bad guy. It's so delightful and over the top and so fun. It's the most fun of any of those. I don't know. Maybe you disagree, but I love it. Jar Jar Ed, Walmart having exclusives probably has to do with them acquiring a major Blu-ray disc manufacturing company. Can't remember the name. Probably. That's probably a big part of it. And probably also trying to position them in the marketplace because they knew Best Buy was dropping off. And I'm wondering how far all this was in the works. Like Lionsgate, if they knew that Best Buy was leaving, how long have they been planning the deal with Walmart to take over? It's fascinating. Let's see. Sean Fox, I'm interested to hear which films you've been waiting for a restoration, DJ. Ooh. I'm not a huge technical guy. Like, I am happy with Blu-ray. If I look at screenshots and I feel like the 4K is noticeably different, I may double dip sometimes, but usually I'm happy with the Blu-ray and I don't keep up with the specs that much. I watch some videos here on YouTube. I don't always understand what the heck they're talking about. There's some really detailed videos here on YouTube that get really into the nitty-gritty. Usually what's going to push me over for a restoration is just the colors. Like, if the color looks significantly better, brighter, more contrast, and closer to the original, that's what gets me excited, because the cinematography is mostly what's important to me. But yeah, I don't usually notice like little glitches and DNR and all of that technical stuff. My eye is not trained for that yet. Maybe it'll get there eventually, but mostly it's just the look of the film. Like, I double dipped for A Christmas Story because it was like the original one, everything was like pink and orange and like washed out, and then like in the 4K it's actually red and the contrast is much better and it looks different, and it fits the whole memory aesthetic of the 50s or whenever. Yeah, that's a movie set in the 50s. But yeah, that's the only reason I'll buy like a restoration. I'm not waiting with bated breath for a lot of 4K restorations of Blu-ray films. I also like the Willy Wonka 4K restoration because they actually like fixed the framing. So that's really cool. Like that, if it's a significant change, I'm interested in it. But if it's just slightly better, I usually don't need to upgrade. But I should, that would be an interesting video. I should do a video of like specific titles that I'm waiting for. I'm still waiting for a lot of titles to get Blu-rays. I made that video with Connor last year, I believe, or maybe a couple years ago now. And I could probably make another one because there's been a lot of movies I've seen since then that don't have Blu-rays. But yeah, some movies don't even have Blu-rays yet. So I'm not worried about getting 4Ks. I'm worried about the movies that are going to be lost to time if we don't get them Blu-rays pretty soon. And TCM does a lot of good work with that stuff. They put out a lot of movies that don't even have Blu-rays yet. Or DVDs. Some of them don't even have DVDs. Evil Wax, I just finally saw Zone of Interest, and like Schindler's List, it's a one-watch movie for me. Looked absolutely amazing though. Yeah, that is... that same. Yeah, I could see myself watching that again, maybe. But yeah, it was definitely a movie that it's not one that you pop in multiple times for rewatch, but it's really, really good, really, really well made. I found it to be a really thought-provoking exercise and a really good exploration of how we as humans can adapt and just completely compartmentalize just like horrible things that are right in front of us. I really liked the idea of it, and it, like I said, it was very thought-provoking for the next couple of days, and Grace and I had some great conversations about it, but I didn't have the emotional, like, haunting reaction that it seems like a lot of other people had with it. It didn't do that for me, but I did find it really interesting to talk about. So maybe I do need to rewatch it. Hi, Henry Bidingcamp. DJ, my Juniper Tree has come in. Have you seen it yet? No, I have not seen it yet. Henry's talking about the Juniper Tree from Arbalos, which is a label that I just started collecting. If you saw my Satin Tango video, which was, it's titled, I don't even know what I titled it. I sat in the theater and watched, and for 8 hours watching this movie. I don't know what I titled it, some ridiculous, stupid title like that. But it was basically just a review of my experience with Satan Tango, which is an 8-hour film by Bellatar. And while I picked up that one from Arbalos, I also picked up a second title from Arbalos, which is called The Juniper Tree, which stars Bjork and is based somewhat, I don't know how much, but somewhat based on the Grimm's fairy tale of the same name. So I'm very excited to check that out. Have not had a time to check it out yet. I've been watching a lot of fantasy films lately. Kind of got kick-started by the Conan 4K release from Arrow. So I was kind of in a sword and sorcery mood. And then I started watching the releases from, that I just did a video about. Oh no, my mind is going blank. Deaf Crocodile. Deaf Crocodile's been putting out those releases from that specific director that, of course, I can't remember his name right now, but he has 3 fantasy films that they've put out, and they're putting out a 4th one soon. So I've been watching through those, and I've been in a very 50s, 60s fantasy mood for a couple weeks now. But no, I would love to get to the Juniper Tree soon. I'm very glad you got yourself a copy of that. Let me know if you see it, or when you see it, what you think of it. An internet user, the end credits music from the Zone of Interest is currently playing in my mind. Yeah, really good sound design in that one too. I know a lot of people are talking about the direction, and the cinematography is very unique and experimental too. I love that. But yeah, the sound design was very interesting on that one. Dan's Dan, Claude Rains was the Invisible Man. Yes, his debut. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was his debut. He's fantastic in that. I love every scene with him. Is so much fun. What do you think is the dark horse for winning Best Picture at Oscars next week? I'll say this again in the video that I release later this week. I am not a person who really keeps up with what's gonna win or what's supposed to win or what. I don't really care about like what wins the Oscars. The thing I like about the Oscars is just that they give recognition to films that otherwise wouldn't get much attention, and they bring, like I said, attention to films that aren't really on my radar. And I like seeing films that are really good that I wouldn't have otherwise heard of. So that's why I like the Oscars. My wife, though, Grace, is much more into keeping up and making predictions and all that stuff. She does the whole survey every year while we're watching it, and she destroys me every time. She's really good at guessing, and I just don't care about that stuff. Maybe that's just me saying I don't care about it because I'm bad at it. I don't know. I don't know. So the video that we recorded is in the Oscar format. We pick what we would pick if we were doing the Oscars. We pick our favorites, and Grace does a little bit of predictions, but yeah, I have no skin in the game for that. I guess I'll say dark horse for winning Best Picture. I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Oppenheimer is winning Best Picture at this point. Everybody thinks so, I guess. I wasn't the biggest fan of that movie, but I know everyone else loves it. I guess a dark horse would be The Holdovers, maybe. I don't think that's going to happen, but you're asking what a dark horse would be, so I'm going to say Holdovers. Zone of Interest, maybe? That would be crazy. I know it's going to win international feature, but I guess it's possible. Probably not, though. But if you're asking for a dark horse, anything is a dark horse besides Oppenheimer. Grubby Raccoon, thanks for your DMC video earlier. It encouraged me to get Darby just in time for St. Patrick's Day and a couple other titles that I glossed over. Any title recs for St. Patty's Day? Great question. Just make sure, okay, making sure my mic's still pointed at me. I get so nervous with this, with the lav mic. I'm nervous that I'm gonna like hit it or shuffle it or something, so hopefully it sounds okay. St. Patrick's Day movies. Yeah, you mentioned Darby O'Gill, which I haven't watched yet, which I said in that video, but I'm very excited to watch it because I hear, so I'm one of those people that every year, or actually every time a holiday comes up, I'll go and I'll just like, well, I used to just go to Google and be like, St. Patrick's Day movies, and it's really, really annoying to find things because everything comes up and nothing's really helpful. Now, I just go to Letterboxd and type in St. Patrick's Day in the list search and then see what lists people are making. Darby O'Gill is always on that list, Darby O'Gill and the Little People. So I just finally picked that up from DMC. I'm gonna be watching that this year. Let me know, by the way, if you've seen that, if I can watch that with the kids or if I should wait, because they're 3 and 5 right now. Maybe a little too early. I don't know. I might have to watch it first and see if it's okay for them. But I'll be watching that. Another great, see, I don't know a lot of St. Patrick's Day movies, but I do know some Irish movies. And I like to watch that around that time period, around that holiday, because, you know, that's where the origin is. So great Irish movie. This isn't an Irish movie, but a movie that takes place all in Ireland, and you're all around the, all in the, like the Irish moors and everything. Looks beautiful. Is The Quiet Man. Highly recommend The Quiet Man. I have a release back there from, what label is that from? It's from, oh man, I can't think of it right now, but I just got it for Christmas from my lovely wife, Grace. We watched that movie for the first time last year on St. Patrick's Day, and it was such a wonderful time. It's a romance film with Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne, and they are just delightful. Lovely, lovely film. It's one of those, it's like a romance film where they hate each other at first, and then they slowly come around, and you come around on them because their performances are wonderful, and it's just like a really, really fun movie. I don't want to say too much about it. Highly recommend The Quiet Man if you can get your hands on it. You should be able to rent it. I think we watched it just like streaming on Amazon or something, streaming somewhere. So highly recommend The Quiet Man. We're going to watch that again this year, and we're also going to watch McDonagh's film. What is McDonagh's film? The most recent one. Oh gosh, what is it called? Right there in the green section, Banshees of Inisherin. So Banshees of Inisherin is another movie that takes place in Ireland. It's an incredible dark comedy. One of our favorite movies of that year. It was Grace's favorite movie of the year. It was like my second or third favorite movie of that year. That was last year. Love Banshees of Inisherin. We're just excited to watch it again. So we're going to pop that in. And then also I recommend the Irish Folklore Trilogy, which is right here. In the brown section, there's a beautiful box set put out right there, and by Cartoon Saloon, and those are 3 beautifully animated. I think there's some 3D animation, but it's a lot of 2D animation mixed in. It's like a hybrid, but those are incredible films. The first one is Process of Elimination. The second one's called Song of the Sea. The third one's called Wolfwalkers. The first one is called... Oh, I've mentioned so many movies tonight, I can't remember what the first one's called. Let me know in the chat what that one's called. I'll shout it out a little bit later. But 3 beautiful films, all directed by the same guy. They all have their own art style. I can't even explain the art style. Just look up the trailers for them because they look incredible. The animation is beautiful and really, really good stories. I think Song of the Sea is actually my favorite one. But Wolfwalkers is great too. And whatever that first one is called that I cannot remember right now, but all of those are great. So Irish Folklore Trilogy, Quiet Man, and Banshees of Inisherin would be my 5 recommendations. If you need any more, ask the guys in the chat because I'm sure there's a bunch of other Irish movies that you can check out. But those are my 5. Book of Kells, thank you, SC in the chat. Book of Kells is what it's called, and it is wonderful. And it's great too. They're all 3 great. What else do we got here? Cabin House, A Christmas Story was set around 1940 or shortly thereafter. Okay, I thought it was 50s, but thank you for that correction. Sean Fox, there are so many films out there that only have DVD releases. I'm on the same page, DJ. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a huge bummer, especially if there's like one of your favorite films that doesn't even have a Blu-ray release yet. Let's see. Ethan Edwards says, I live near the Christmas Story house in Cleveland. That's awesome. That's really cool. Like, are you talking about I guess the one in the movie is what you're talking about? That's really cool. Jar Jar Ed, my movie hot take is I don't like The Departed. I think it's overrated and far from Scorsese's best work. I just heard that joke in something recently. What did I hear that joke in? Something we just watched recently. I think it was, I've been watching Ted Lasso with Grace because that's one of her favorite shows. And we got Apple TV Plus to watch, speaking of Scorsese, we had to watch his most recent film, and it was only available on Apple TV Plus, Killers of the Flower Moon. So we got a month subscription to that for like $5 or whatever. And she used that as an opportunity to watch Ted Lasso again. So she's been making me watch it, and it's pretty funny. But someone mentioned, there's a joke in there about like Scorsese finally won, and it was for Departed, which is not nearly his best film. So I guess that's like I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's like a common opinion for people to have. Dan's Den, Zone of Interest is PG-13, and I'd argue in Glazer's most accessible film, but that says something about his filmography. Lord. Oh, really? So he's like a provocateur, so he does a lot of stuff like that. Interesting. I haven't seen it. That was the first film I'd seen from him. But yeah, I loved it, and I won't spoil anything about my picks for the Oscar video that we shot and we're getting up this week, but he was very high on my director list because I thought he was wonderful. Beetlejuice and Walmart is all that is left. Ordered new Steelbooks from Walmart recently. Anaconda, Hollow Man, Lionsgate, Psycho re-release, all came in perfect condition. However, Target had them for half the price. Ooh, interesting. That's surprising. Usually Walmart's prices are way better than Target. Target, in my experience, is usually terrible with pricing. Hayden Spring, I just bought the Criterion Godzilla set. It's coming from Amazon, so hopefully it shows up in good condition. I'm praying for you, brother, because Amazon is the worst. I hope it gets to you safely. Hayden Spring, also flashback to when I found DJ on TikTok by accident. Hey, thank you. Shout out to that. I haven't posted on TikTok in forever. I love doing it, but I just couldn't keep up with it. Like, I was like, I actually get a little bit of money from YouTube. I get no money from TikTok, so I'm going to prioritize YouTube and stick with my time doing stuff over here. I enjoy doing TikTok. There's a really great film community over there. I love talking to those guys, but I just couldn't keep up with it and keep up with YouTube, so I just had to drop it, unfortunately. But hopefully I can get back to a little shorter content too. Beetlejuice, still waiting on my Amazon pre-order of Conan the Barbarian limited edition. Oh no, man, that's a bummer. That came out a long time ago. That sucks. Well, I hope it gets to you. I hope there's still some left. I don't know if you pre-ordered it. I don't know why they wouldn't have it for you. They should have saved it for you. It's like that scene in what is it, Seinfeld, where she's like, I know how to take a reservation. He's like, I don't think you do. See, you're great at taking the reservation, but you're not so great at holding the reservation. And holding the reservation is really the most important part of the reservation. See, anyone can just take them, but it's the holding that's important. That's a great scene. I need to watch more Seinfeld. I didn't grow up with that show, but I've seen just clips here and there. Eva Wax, it's Mika Levi who did the music, who also did the music for Under the Skin, another movie directed by Jonathan Glazer. Interesting. I love the music. I think it's great. And like eerily, it's edited like weirdly on purpose to like be super jarring and creepy. I thought it was cool. Beetlejuice says, St. Patty's Day, I have to watch The Boondock Saints. Interesting. Still haven't seen that film. Don't take my Film Bro card. Actually, you can have it. I don't want a Film Bro card. Roberta Correa, since you're a fan of animation, I was wondering if you have checked out any adult animation from Ralph Bakshi. I have not. I'll have to look that name up. Thanks for the recommendation. I haven't checked that out yet. Are they available to stream anywhere, or do I have to buy a disc, or do I have to... Let me know where I can find them. An internet user, does The Friends of Eddie Coyle count as a St. Patrick's Day film? It involves the Irish mob. Sure, throw the Irishman in there as well. Kevin House, I actually commented on this after watching your Disney video, but there is a scary scene in Darby that might bother your kids. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the heads up. We probably watch that one first, and then I'll decide what age I want to show that to them with. Evil Wax says, love the Banshees of Inisherin. So did I, sir. Maybe my favorite McDonough film, and that is high praise because I like all of his films. He's done Seven Psychopaths. He's done In Bruges, which is amazing. And I really, really want to get the 4K Kino Lorber version of In Bruges. I don't own that yet. Also, Three Billboards Past Ebbing, Missouri is what it's called. Three Billboards. That's a great film as well. And Banshees of Inisherin is wonderful. And I think they get better each time, actually. Actually, I might like In Bruges better. But Banshees, I think, is my favorite. Let's see. Henry Beidenkamp. For St. Pat's, I like Flight of the Doves. Interesting. Very interesting. I've not heard of that film. Also, for St. Patrick's Day, you got to watch a couple episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of my favorite shows of all time. Jeffrey Patron popping in. Hey, howdy. Joining late. Forgot what day it was. Well, I'm glad you could pop in later. Anyway, just got tickets to see La Strada in a theater. What? That's amazing. I would love to see La Strada in a theater. Watched that for the first time last year, and I loved it. Would love to watch that again. I haven't picked it up on Blu-ray yet because I'm holding out for that Fellini box set from Criterion. I don't want to have to double dip, so I'm going to wait until I can get the box set. But first I got to get the Pasolini box set, which I missed out on, unfortunately. Let's see. Ryan Morgan. Hey, welcome to the chat. Hey, DJ, just hopping in. I'm visiting Prague. Awesome. In May, and just bought tickets for the Karel Zeman Museum. Oh, man. I am severely jealous. That sounds amazing. I want to go there so bad. I want to make a trip to Prague just to see the Karel Zeman Museum. Thanks to your shelf tour. Wouldn't have heard about it without the video. Oh, see? It's all worth it that I can make that happen. That's amazing, Ryan. Karel Zeman is one of my favorite filmmakers. The Karel Zeman Museum looks awesome, and I would love to visit it. He's talking about those releases up there. There's some DVD, gosh, it's so hard when it's reversed. There's some releases up there in the white section, DVD only, but it's really cool that the Prague Museum, it's a Karel Zeman Museum, all about the filmmaker in Prague. He's a Czech director and very, very well beloved over there in that side of the world, and he has a whole museum devoted to him out there, but you gotta go to Prague to see it. I wish I could go. But they have a full set of DVDs, 8 DVDs, a whole series. It's 7 of his films and then 1 documentary about him. I was lucky enough to get those from a seller on eBay because they're only available from the Prague Museum and they don't ship to the US. So I was out of luck, as they say, and then luckily I found someone on eBay that was selling them. They also have another release that I didn't mention in that video down here, which is on the bottom right there, another one of his films, not in that set of films, but also released by the same museum. I'm very jealous, Ryan. That sounds amazing. Let me know how it is, please. I don't know if you make videos or just leave a comment and let me know how it is, because I really want to go there. Let's see. Who else is here? Rose, I agree about Zone of Interest. Just watched it and arrived right during the opening credits, and it was such a disorienting and incredibly memorable experience. It really is. It's really great. I see why it's doing so well in the award season. And now this, Seinfeld. I love that show. I would buy it if it was on Blu-ray. I believe it's still on DVD. It doesn't even have a Blu-ray? That's crazy. Because that's a beloved show. Why is that not on Blu-ray? Magnitude Rev, I just thought of this show just now as a video idea. I'd love to see you release a series of videos breaking down what you would show your kids in different stages of their life. Magnitude, always with the great video ideas. Appreciate all of your comments, sir. You got some of the best comments out there. You're one of the ones that leaves really great comments, and I always read them, and I don't always reply, but I always love them. And you're always right on the same wavelength with me. That's a series that I've wanted to do for so long, and every time I have to do a series where I have to prepare and write, I can never find the time. There's always something else I can record and edit, and it always gets in the way, but I really want to prioritize that. I want to prepare for that video and do it justice, because I think that's a very important series of videos that no one talks about on here. That's a very something I'm very passionate about, something very important to me, and I know there's other parents out there that would benefit from that kind of video series, and I would love to do it. I want to start, I've talked about it many times. I don't want to hype anything up, because I am going to prioritize that this year. That's something I really want to get into. I want to do, maybe 3 videos, maybe, I don't know how many videos, but a series where you could show small children, because my kids are 5 and 3, and then as they grow up, continue to make those videos for older kids, or at least what I'm planning to show them at certain ages, because I take that very seriously, and it's something I have a lot of thoughts on. So I should just go ahead and suck it up and shoot those videos, because it's a great idea. Thanks, Magnitude. Eva Wax, Seinfeld is so classic. My favorite episode is the one where George tries to get high score on Frogger. I have not seen that one, but that does sound amazing. Sean Fox, 40 years ago, one of the first Hollywood directors to shoot a video was William Friedkin, who worked on Self-Control to accompany Laura Branigan's track of the same name. Has anyone else seen it? Oh, great question. That's more for the chat, but thank you, Sean Fox. Zeta Generous says, just ordered Flatliners and Two Witches special edition off of Arrow. Very cool. A friend of mine grew up with Flatliners. It's one of his favorite movies, and he picked that up in the Criterion sale. They have a Criterion sale and the Arrow sale at the same time, and he came and stayed with me for a week, and we went to the Criterion sale. It was a couple Novembers ago, and he picked up Flatliners as well. So that comes highly recommended from him. Michael Smith says, I could barely get through 3 Billboards. Hated every second of it. Yeah, Michael McDonough is I would say acquired taste, maybe. Maybe not acquired. Maybe just a taste for some people and not for others. I don't think he's for everyone, but I love his stuff. I love it a lot. Jar Jar Ed, excellent choices. Zeta, Flatliners rules, and more people should watch it. Kevin House says, the first time I saw La Strada was on the big screen at Denison University in Granville, Ohio. I'm very jealous of these guys who are seeing these on the big screen. Back to Robert. Ralph Bakshi did movies like Fritz the Cat, Wizards, The 78 Lord of the Rings, etc. Okay, no, I'm familiar with all of those. I don't think I've seen any of them. I haven't seen the 78 Lord of the Rings film. I've seen the other 2 that were by Rankin and Bass, but I haven't seen his 78 Lord of the Rings film. But I hear it's fascinating. I hear there's a lot of like rotoscoping in it, and there's like real armies that they shot with like real people on horses and stuff, and they rotoscoping over it. Sounds really interesting. I would love to get a release of that. I've actually been trying to get a release of that Lord of the Rings set for a long time. That's actually a very, very hard to get the original printing slipcover of that. There's an OOP slipcover. I think the whole release might be out of print actually, but you can find a couple of them on eBay. But that Lord of the Rings slipcover, it's going to cost you like $100, which is insane, and that's why I don't own it. But I'd love to get it someday. That's actually one of the things I'm kicking myself for. Somebody was selling it for $50 years ago, and I saw it, and I waited, and I didn't get it, and then it was gone forever. I'm never going to get it that cheap ever again. So that's a bummer. But no, I'm fascinated by that art style, and I'd love to check out some of his work. I haven't seen much adult animation from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. That was something I wasn't exposed to as a kid. I was kind of in a pretty sheltered home, so I didn't see that stuff. But I know what Wizards is, I know what Fritz the Cat is, but I have not seen them. Thanks for the recommends. And thanks for following up with more information on that. How much longer can we go here? We got 10 more minutes. We're doing fine. I'm trying to keep up. I'm losing my voice slowly, but lots of great comments today. So thank you guys so much. Let's see. Patrick Craig is here. Hey, Patrick Craig. I'm jealous of those Zeman releases. Love his films. He is the man. If you're not familiar with Zeman, he's got a box set in the Criterion Collection, which has 3 of his films: Journey to the Beginning of Time, Invention for Destruction, and the and the Fabulous Baron Munchausen. 3 amazing, incredible spectacle films that are like unlike anything you've ever seen before. I love, and also. Carol Zeman is one of the directors who is inspired by the guy I'm watching through right now with the fantasy films, Russian Soviet director whose name is Alexander Tushko, and he's a little bit earlier than Zeman, but they were both right around the same time. They both got their start in stop motion animation, and they were kind of peers, but I think he inspired Carol Zeman a little bit. So really cool to be going back and checking out his stuff. And because I already love Carol Zeman. I've only seen those 3 films that are from the Criterion Collection, and I've seen The Sorcerer's Apprentice from Carol Zeman. I haven't watched through the rest of the films in the set, but I really want to because he's just got such a unique style and incorporates every style of animation. So he's got like stop motion. Specifically, if you watch any of the films from Criterion really, but if you watch the most simple of those films, which is Journey to the Beginning of Time, it's a story about kids that go back in time to like dinosaur times, and he's got stop motion, he's got 2D animation in there, he's got paper cutouts that he's moving around, he's got actual live like stuffed mammoths with forced perspective. Any way that he can show something on screen, he uses every different method, and he incorporates it so well, and it's such a charming style that he has. I love Carol Zeman, and I highly recommend him. Grubby Raccoon, thank you for the Rex. I love the first Boondocks film. I'll have to seek out Quiet Man and the Folklore trilogy. Banshees was great. I got that a while ago on a sale. Hey, you're welcome, man. And thank you guys in the chat for chiming in as well. Love having you guys here for the recommendations as always. Patrick Craig says, Bakshi is interesting. American Pop got a Blu-ray relatively recently. Heavy Traffic is another must-buy. Yeah, he's prolific. He's got a lot of stuff, and it's really cool that they're getting Blu-ray releases out of his stuff. I need to finally check out some of that. Jar Jar Ed, it's crazy remembering how much of a big deal the initial wave of 4K Blu-ray releases were. Now look at where we are. So many 4K Blu-rays being released every month. Tons of them. I can't even keep up with them. I can't even keep up with them on this weekly show, but we got a lot to talk about. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't have a huge 4K collection. I have most of that behind me is Blu-rays, but I've slowly been hopping on the 4K bandwagon, and I got a good setup now, so it's fun. It's fun to watch them. Grace and I just watched Dune, the 4K copy of Dune that we've got downstairs, and it was amazing. Beautiful transfer, and we watched it the day before we went and saw Dune 2, so it was like we just picked it up, because it literally, I don't know if you've seen Dune 2, this is not a spoiler, but it starts right where the first one left off, like the next scene, like it's like a couple minutes later. So it's really, really cool. I haven't seen that since like Lord of the Rings, man. This is really cool that we're getting this. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I think there's another film that he's going to make too, based on the second Dune book. So really, really cool. I love that we're getting a Lord of the Rings scale trilogy again, because it's been a long time. Let's see. What else do we got here? Here we go. Patrick Craig. The Wind That Blows the Barley by Ken Loach is another great film for St. Paddy's Day. Steve McQueen's Hunger would make another good one. I rewatched that recently. Cool. Thanks for the recommendations. I'm trying to put together a little playlist for us to watch through this St. Patrick's Day, and we're already in March, so thank you for that. Robert says, are you ever concerned with disc scratches, like if something is new and still has them? I have never had a problem with a Blu-ray or 4K skipping. I know that's, I mean, whatever. Knock on wood, but I bought most of this collection back here all from eBay. I'm a big proponent of secondhand purchasing because I've bought pretty much all this from eBay, and I've never had a scratched disc. I've had scratched DVDs, but Blu-rays and 4Ks have been fine for me. I've never had that issue. I know some people do, so I mean, I'm not saying it never happens, but I think it's a pretty safe. Bet as long as you take care of them, and as long as the person that you're buying from took care of it. It's kind of hard. I mean, you got to go out of your way. You got to go out of your way to scratch up a 4K disc. Gus is here. Hey, welcome, Gus. Thank you for catching that Catherine O'Hara flub that I did on the Disney video. I accidentally said Catherine O'Hara instead of Maureen O'Hara. Can't believe I did that, but yeah, it would be fun. I'd watch a Parent Trap with Catherine O'Hara. Dan says Bakshi is fascinating, but his limited animation style is not for everyone. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's more of an underground type thing from what I know about him, but like I said, I haven't seen any of them myself. Yeah. Ben Loves Movie says, don't show your kids Fritz the Cat. Yeah, I know that much, that they're not for kids. I will not. I'm not one of those, I almost said dumb parents. Excuse me. I'm not one of those uninvolved parents, we'll say that just shows their kids something just because it's animated or just because it has superheroes in it. Or so. I actually pay attention to what the content is. I hate that there were stories of kids, like people taking their kids to see Deadpool and taking their kids to see Watchmen. Oh, it's superheroes. It's for everyone. No, it's not. Look at the rating, if nothing else. Jar Jar Ed, 1 or 2 light scratches. No. Huge scratches that are noticeable. Yes, I always worry. Yeah, of course. I've never had that experience, but yeah, of course, that would really mess up the disc. Jeffrey says he has that Lord of the Rings on VHS. He's watched part of it, the VHS copy, and it's utterly fascinating. Yeah, I'm excited to check that one out. I'm just going to have to suck it up and just buy the standard edition and accept that I'll never have the slipcover version. Evil Wax classics I would love to see on the big screen are L'Aventura and Touch of Evil. Touch of Evil has a really nice release from Eureka, that I've been thinking about picking up lately. It looks really good. Ethan Edwards, I have the Zem and Criterion set, but I haven't watched any of them yet. Oh, do it, man. Do yourself a favor. Really fun adventure movies. I think you'll like them. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about straight up adventure movies, but if nothing else, Invention for Destruction is one of the most gorgeous, visually interesting films I've ever seen. If you don't know, the entire thing looks like an etching, or what's it called? What is that called where you watch like Dante's Inferno? You know those like famous, they're not paintings, I'll say paintings, but the famous artwork in Dante's Inferno that's like etched into stone. I don't remember what that art style is called right now, but the entire movie looks like that. Like the people, it's all in black and white. They're all like wearing like paper cutout looking costumes that makes them look like solid artwork. Like the entire thing is made to look like that. All of the sets are painted with like the dots and the lines on them to make it look like every frame looks like a work of art. It's crazy. And it's based on a Jules Verne book. It's based on like loosely based on like Jules Verne's style with like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There's a scene where they go underwater in a submarine, and there's like these little like submarine bikes that they pedal around, and it takes place on a ship. It's really, really cool. I highly recommend. Nothing. If you're going to watch one of them, Invention for Destruction. I love all three of them, but Invention for Destruction is like a masterpiece, and every frame looks like a work of art. Robert, luckily for you, DJ, there's a Spanish Blu-ray of the 78 Lord of the Rings, but don't expect special features. Oh yeah, I could go with that one. But yeah, that's the thing when you buy like international releases, they don't usually have much in the way of special features. All right, let's wow, we got the highest number in the chat here right when we're finishing up. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Great conversation tonight, really enjoyed it. Magnitude, you mentioned during your movie collection vid how you hadn't seen Cartoon Saloon's The Breadwinner. That's right. I would highly recommend it. It might be my second favorite film from the studio behind Wolfwalkers. Sweet. So yeah, so that is the one film that director did. I think he did it with someone else. I think he co-directed it. Maybe not. Maybe they just wrote it. But The Breadwinner is based on, it's a Middle Eastern story, if I'm remembering right. It's not part of the Irish folklore trilogy, but it's the same studio, and I really want to check it out. I have to get a copy of it. I don't have a copy. It's not in the set, but I'd love to watch that because I've loved all the other films he's done. Ethan Edwards, I did watch a Christmas one, very short. That was it. Oh yeah, he did like a little, very, very early in his career when he was just getting started, he did that Christmas stop motion video. Very different. That was just him getting started. I've seen that too. I think I watched that around Christmas time. It's on the Criterion channel. And I think it's on that set as well. Beetlejuice, Blu-rays are fine with scratches, but I've had 4 discs in 4K with the very smallest scratch you could barely see, and it skipped, and even would prevent me from making a backup copy. Wow, that's a bummer. Yeah, like I said, I don't have as many 4Ks as Blu-rays, so that's crazy that a little scratch like that would make such a big difference. He also says have to be very careful with 4K scratches. If you get a disc like that from Amazon or somewhere, return it. Yeah, at least Amazon's really good about returns. They might destroy your package and throw it on your porch, but they at least take anything back. They're like Walmart in that way. You can return something to Walmart, it doesn't even have a receipt to it. They'll take anything. You can buy it at Target. Michael Smith, what do you think about Lottie Reniger? Lottie Reniger is amazing. I only have one of her films. I have the, where is it back there? Right back there in the blue section. It is The Adventures of Prince Ahmed, which is a completely, so I see why you brought this up, because she also used paper cutouts, not in the same way that Carol Zeman uses them. He kind of animates them like physically. She does the same thing, but it's kind of like stop motion, but it's all completely paper cutouts. Her animation style is incredible. She's a pioneer of animation. Adventures of Prince Ahmed is all the way from like 1924. Like she was doing stuff way back before anyone was doing animation stuff. She's incredible. I've seen a couple of her films on the Criterion channel. She's got what's that film? It's a short film based on the one little scene from The Magic Flute. Papagino. Papagino is great. If you've seen The Magic Flute, or if you're familiar with that opera and you want to see a really, really beautifully stop motion animated version of that, check out Papagino. It's on the Criterion channel. It's incredible. She has a whole bunch of little like fairy tale films that she's done like that in her unique animation style, and it's only available on DVD, and it's only available in Region B from like the UK. So I've got to get a Region B player to play it. I don't own a Region B Blu-ray player. I can play, well actually, I might be able to get away with Blu-rays. I can play Region B Blu-rays. I cannot play Region B DVDs, so I have no way to play that, but I really want to order it. I think it's just available on Amazon. It's called The Fairy Tales of Lottie Reniger or something like that. She's awesome. I love her stuff. I need to watch more of her stuff. That's what I'm saying all night. As directors I love, but I haven't seen all of their stuff yet. Patrick Craig says, you got to catch up on the Deaf Crocodile animation releases. My copy of Bubble Bath came Saturday. Should be jazzy fun. Dude, there's just so much. And like people are going to accuse me of like forgetting about Criterion because I'm getting into all of these other releases and I don't have the money for Criterion anymore. But I'm just really enjoying, I guess I'm having, you know how they always say that like it's in the 3rd year of a marriage that you have your first like hiccup? That's usually where infidelity starts for the first time. I'm there. that's where I am right now. I started collecting Criterion like around 3 years ago when I started this channel, and now I'm in my 3rd year. You know, I still like Criterion, but we're going our separate ways a little bit. I'm seeing some others. I'm seeing some other labels. Oh, look at this. Oh, Deaf Crocodile's over here. Oh, look at that Indicator release. Look at those Eureka titles. Whoo, look at those Eureka titles. And then I've got, I mean, it's Patrick Craig. He's the one who told me about all of the Oscilloscope Laboratory titles. So there's so many other options out there. I still got to stay true to my Criterion love, because that's why I started this channel. That's why most of you are here, is the Criterion Haul videos. But I'm starting to look around, try some other things, and yeah, there's tons of stuff. Deaf Crocodile is putting out amazing releases. There's 2 Deaf Crocodile releases that I really want: the Castle in the Carpathias, and there's another one that is like I think it takes place in Prague. And of course, Deaf Crocodile is putting out the 4th film from Alexander Tushko that I've already pre-ordered on the Kickstarter. Really excited about that one. But there's just too much, man. There's too much. My hope for this channel, this is my dream for the channel. Like, I don't ever expect to make any money off this channel. I don't expect it to ever get that big, or it's like a job for me. I know I'm always gonna have a full-time job. But my hope for this channel is that it can just get big enough to fund like my collecting habit. Like, if it could just be big enough to pay for the movies that I want to show on the channel, that would be great. That would be a dream come true. I don't need to pocket any of the money. I just needed to go back into the movies, because there's just too much and I cannot afford all of the releases that I want. So hey, share. You know what I've never done? I've never asked anyone to share these videos. Don't share this video. This is a long, boring, rambly video. Share one of my better videos. Share the complete collection video. Try to get the word out there, because I would just love for this to get to a point where it could like fund itself, because like you said, there's so many releases out there, and I only got the budget for a couple releases a month, man. I can't keep up with all these labels. What else do we got here? Kevin House, please hit the like button, everyone. Oh, thanks, Kevin. Really appreciate that. He's one of my staunchest supporters. Patrick Craig, Tales of the Night is cool. Recent French animated film inspired by Lottie Reiner's animation style. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to add that to the list. Thanks for another one, Patrick Craig. Patrick Craig has done the most damage to my wallet of any of you guys in the chat. He knows me so well. I don't know how long he's been a fan, but he's got such knowledge about all these different labels. And he's always recommending stuff that I think I'm gonna love. So thanks. Thank you for breaking my wallet, Patrick. Let's see, Ethan Edwards. I have the Kino of Prince Ahmed too. Never watched that one either. Yeah. I have it too. It came. I think you can buy it through Kino, but I think it's like from Milestone, which is like a very tiny label. But yeah, it's a great release. Check it out. You got to be in the right mood. It's a silent film from 1924 that's completely animated with like construction paper. So if that's not your thing, but I love it. I love really cool animation like that. Jar Jar Ed, I'm scared to watch my Criterion Citizen Kane because the discs are in sleeves. I have bad experiences with Blu-rays and sleeves and always hope for a traditional plastic case with new releases. Yeah. People hate that release. I don't know why everyone jumped on that Criterion release. I think it looks cool, but yeah, I haven't had any problems with it. But yeah, people hate having to pull things out of sleeves. That's people's arch nemesis with physical media. Bailey Welsh says Bubble Bath is so visually incredible. I gotta check it out, man. You said that's from Deaf Crocodile? Bubble Bath. Put that one on the list. Go ahead and put it on the list. Magnitude Rev, you could always just chuck in other boutique label releases that you purchased during any of your haul videos, especially around the flash sale times. What? You could always just chuck in other boutique label releases that you purchased during any of your haul videos, especially, okay. So you're saying just bring those releases up when I do the flash sale videos? I could. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people are interested in. I think a lot of people, I think Criterion's the big one. Everyone's really interested in Criterion, but I'm getting really interested in some other ones, and I love to, and that's what's more important. I mean, everyone's talking about Criterion. I'd love to shed some light on the smaller labels that people aren't talking about. That's one of the reasons I did the Deaf Crocodile video about the Kickstarter that they just did, because I knew that wasn't going to be a high-performing video. I knew a lot of people weren't going to care, but I cared, and I really wanted to shed some light just in case there was anyone who didn't see that. The Kickstarter is doing amazing. Their goal was like 20,000. They've already hit 70,000. They've still got the rest of the month before the Kickstarter ends. And if you didn't see, they sent out an email to me. They upgraded. They sent out another update. They talked to Vinegar Syndrome. They got them to agree to put out the slipcover edition. There was a brief tier where you could get the box set and the slipcover edition of the fourth film, and it was like limited to 25, really low number, and it sold out immediately. And I wanted that one, but I couldn't get it. But they talked to Vinegar Syndrome. They re-released the tier. It's open again, and I upgraded mine. So I'm not just getting the box set now, I'm getting the box set and the new release. Very excited about that. Can't wait till that comes in. I will definitely be showing you guys that. It's gonna be a long time. I don't know when the Kickstarter is gonna end in like at the end of the month. And then I don't know how long production's gonna take, but I'm so excited about that. Very happy they opened that tier back up. They also added a 4th tier where you can buy the slipcover edition by itself if you already have the first 3 films like I do. So they're killing it over there. Really, really happy with Deaf Crocodile. Super consumer friendly. Love that they're releasing a box set that you can buy. Like if you already have the 3 films, you can just buy the box set. How cool is that? Oh, it's like super cheap too. Yeah, I can put these in a box set, turn it into a director's box set with the upcoming 4th film that they're putting out. So now it's a 4-film box set. Super cool. I've never seen anything like that. That was really nice of them. They did not have to do that. Eva Wax says he'll look into checking out Bubble Bath as well. Ethan Edwards says, my favorite boutique label after Criterion is Kino and Warner Archive. Yeah, those two are killers. They put out more than anybody else. Like they have especially Kino, such a stacked filmography. It's not a filmography. What are you saying? Just library. That's the word. Such a stacked library from Kino. They put out so much stuff. Ben Loves Movies. Have to go. Great live stream as always. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for popping in. Don't worry, we'll be wrapping up here soon. I'm actually going long. I'm already at 1:37, but you guys have had some great questions. Just keeping them coming tonight. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up here, though. I'm almost to the end. Let's see. SC, the Blu-ray and a sleeve thing. The Pasolini box showed up with scratch discs, and I had most of them replaced. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. That's a bummer because I really, really want that box set. I love Pasolini, or at least the films I've seen of him so far. Zeta says, let the vinegar flow through you. Yeah, I don't know what he means by that. Is he talking about Vinegar Syndrome? I think they might be talking about Vinegar Syndrome. I say that. I was going to say I haven't picked up any Vinegar Syndrome titles proper. I've only really picked up their sister labels like Deaf Crocodile and Yellow Veil, but I have picked up a Vinegar Syndrome title. I haven't talked about it yet on the channel. I should do a video about it. It's not a good movie, but it's like a really classic nostalgia pick for me. I picked up their Sidekicks release. I found a good deal on that one. And that was a movie I watched a ton growing up with my kids. Being in a household that was run by 2 martial artists. My parents both have a martial arts studio that they've run ever since before I was born. So we watched all of those 90s Karate Kid movies like 3 Ninjas and Surf Ninjas and Sidekicks. And Sidekicks is amazing. Directed by Chuck Norris's brother, and it is as amazing as you think it is. And I got the Vinegar Syndrome release, and it's a beautiful 4K release. Looks great. I popped it in the other day. Michael Smith, DJ Craig at Deaf Crocodile likes to do podcasts and would probably do an interview if you asked him. Oh, wait, hold on. You're saying, who is Craig? You're saying Craig at Deaf Crocodile? Is this a guy named Craig, or are you talking about Patrick Craig? I'm getting confused because there's someone in the chat. I think you must be talking about a different guy. But yeah, I don't know anyone at Deaf Crocodile. I'm not that familiar with I've just got into it. But I should try to do interviews. I don't know. I would get nervous trying to do interviews. Maybe I could be good at that. I don't know. I've never done that before. But maybe I should. I'd love to, like I said, I'd love to shed some light on their label because I think they do awesome stuff. Jar Jar Ed, Scream and Shout Factory is a big one of the horror fans like myself, especially loving their Shout Select label, putting out 4K Blu-rays for movies like Fargo, Clue, and Point Break. Yeah, they're killing it. I mean, on top of the horror stuff they're doing, they're also putting out great movies like Fargo and Clue. 2 movies that I really want to get. I wanted to get those 4K releases and I missed them. Just didn't have the money at the time. But yeah, I would love to get those. Those are up at the top of my Amazon wish list for sure. Let's see. Magnitude, Rev, Radiance Films, and Imprint Films are the 2 main recent boutique labels that have really been catching my attention within the last year or so. Same, man, same. There's so many. Imprint is awesome. It's all the way from Australia, I believe, and it's really hard to get those over here, especially the ones that are already out of print. Like trying to get those from sellers in Australia is crazy. SC says 3 Ninjas, great stuff. Yeah, I would totally buy a 4K, or not even 4K. I would totally buy a Blu-ray of the whole trilogy. I don't really care about High Noon and Mega Mountain, but the trilogy is awesome, and I would totally buy that. And I think they just released one, but it's like in Australia. They released a Blu-ray collection of all the films, but it's only available like overseas. I don't know. I might end up getting it. I think it's either just released or it's still coming soon. I might get it anyway because I would love to have those in Blu-ray quality. Magnitude says my personal favorite Imprint film release is their Zhang Yimou X Gong Li Collaborations box set. I butchered that. Very similar to Criterion's World of Wong Kar-wai box set. Interesting. Yeah, I have not. That's one of the last few that I haven't taken the plunge on. I haven't bought any imprint films yet, but that's another big one. Michael Smith says, Craig is his name. He's one of the 2 owners. Don't know his last name. Okay, gotcha. Sorry for the confusion there, because Patrick Craig is my personal intel on Deaf Crocodile. But that's cool that Craig. I love it when the label's so small that you like know the guys and they make appearances on YouTube and stuff. That's super cool. I would love to talk to them. I don't know if I have the size of audience yet for them to take me seriously or not, but I wouldn't mind reaching out. I'd love to talk to them. Patrick also says, yeah, DJ Craig is one of the 2 guys behind Deaf Crocodile. You should interview him for sure. He's a cool guy. I would love to. Maybe I'll have to try. Maybe I'll shoot my shot and see what he says. And then they also Zetas also says, don't forget about Severin. That's another one. I only have 1 or 2 releases from Severin. I don't have that many, but that's a whole nother label. There's too many. Too many to count at this point. Let's wrap this thing up. I've been blabbing on for 1 hour and 40 minutes, but thank you guys so much in the chat for all of the great questions. This is a really great night. I really like this. I kind of like the slower weeks when there's not too much to talk about because you guys really come through with the questions and topics of conversation. I always have a good time talking to you. Thank you guys so much. This is one of the biggest shows we've ever had. Thank you guys, which is interesting because we didn't have much to talk about. But I am loving the conversation on these, and I love all of you that pop in and chat with me. Very, very fun time. One of the highlights of my week. It makes my Mondays a little bit better. So thank you so much, and thank you all who are watching after the fact. I'll talk to you guys in the comments down below. But yeah. Really, really like the show. I'm happy I stuck with it, and I'm gonna keep doing them for as long as it works. As long as we can do this, it's gonna be fun. People saying goodbye here. Evil Wax says, thanks DJ and everyone in the chat. Have a good night. Sean Fox, thank you everyone for such a great sesh. You've been a highlight of my day. And Dan's Den is saying goodbye as well. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the company. It's such a great way to wind down my Monday nights. I will see you all next week on this show. Like I said, live at 9 p.m. on Monday nights, Eastern Standard Time. But you guys will see me very soon in the next couple days when I put out the Oscar video where we talk about our favorite films from last year. Grace and I did that video, and that'll be edited and up in just a couple days. So stay tuned for that, and I'll talk to you in the comments as always. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep collecting, and I'll be back with another video real soon.